Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're here to review the film Wicked.
Wicked, the long-awaited Broadway, right?
Broadway musical.
Broadway.
Was it a book first or was it a Broadway? It was a book first, I think.
Oh, that's a good question.
I think it was a book, and
Okay.
then it went to Broadway, and then
Gotcha.
finally came to the theaters,
Yeah.
the movie screens.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're back to review Wicked and give you our thoughts on that. Before we get into it, though, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and also
Like this video.
like the video, like she said. And if you saw Wicked, we watched it over the weekend on streaming. I think we rented it.
We did.
It should be on Peacock, though, in the next couple of weeks. But if you saw it in the theaters, you got thoughts on it, let us know those thoughts in the comment section below. Okay, I'm going to throw it to you. Look, I said this before. I had no real desire to see the movie.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts on it? Because you really wanted to see it, like, really bad.
Why are you?
I don't know.
Why are you making up stuff? Yeah. So
You wanted to see it more than me.
I'll just throw this out there immediately. Neither one of us have read the book or seen the Broadway. So
But little story, I did buy you the book. Like,
You did.
all the way back in probably 2006, 2007 for Christmas or something.
and I never read it. So there you go. But yeah, I know. I just want to throw that out there because I feel like this movie, blew up because it was kind of a thing where they were talking about the theater kids like went to see this movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's
so
cool.
people were so like, because of the Broadway show and the book too, people just like, they were excited for it. There's a whole big audience for it. So that was not me or Ken. So I just want to put that out there, as we're talking about this movie. I don't really feel like we had any expectations. They were pretty low. And like you kind of mentioned, I mean, I was more excited to see it than you, but I still wasn't excited to see it.
And I mean, it had quite a bit of hype. Like, it came out, and I don't think anybody was really, like, super negative about it. I feel like everybody gave it, like, generally positive reviews.
Yeah.
Across the board. And everybody I heard that saw it said it was great. So,
Yeah, I was just going to say that our daughter wanted to see it, so that's why we went ahead and rented it. Rented it. But yeah, all that to say, I don't want to be negative, but at the same time, like, this is just how I feel.
We're not here to rain on anybody's parade. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me start with the positives, okay? Let's start with the positives. I will say that, the movie is very pretty. It's very, bright, colorful, fun. It takes you into the world of Oz.
I like the beginning. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I mean, because I grew up watching Wizard of Oz like anybody else, I feel like. I mean, I
Right.
probably saw that movie at least 50 times as a kid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was nostalgic to see the yellow brick road and, the way they shot it, the way it started, kind of being the ending of the Wizard of Oz.
Right,
So I
like
thought that was cool.
this movie, it starts out, as the Wicked Witch of the West has died.
Yeah.
And then, you're taken back to find out how they got to that point. And so, yeah, I mean, it looked really good. I feel like the musical numbers were, good if you're into that. It's definitely a musical through and through. I mean, song after song after song. It's not one of those like kind of musical movies. Like it's a musical.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, had we like been to the Broadway show or something, we probably would have maybe been more into it because we would have been like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I know this song and that kind of stuff. We had seen like clips and stuff through social media. Like, I mean, it's been all over the place. So we had, seen some of the songs, like the popular one and the one that they performed at the Oscars.
Which
But
is
yeah,
like the very end of the movie.
I will say, I thought that the musical numbers were good. Like, I feel like everybody, sang good, danced good. Like everything was pretty flawless as far as that goes. Did I enjoy it? Not particularly. I don't know. For me personally, like you mentioned earlier, the Wizard of Oz, like the Wizard of Oz movie that came out in, when did that come out?
1939, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, that was a classic movie for me. Grew up on that one. It is to me a very like dark movie. Like I don't to me it's not really a feel good movie. I don't know, there's just some darkness to that movie.
Yeah.
But I still loved it as a kid and it's still nostalgic. To me, yeah, there's some stuff that is from Wizard of Oz in this, but it still doesn't feel like Wizard of Oz. Like they're just two very different tonal movies.
Yeah, I mean, it started to a little bit when they actually got to the Emerald City.
Yeah.
But the whole, like, there's 2 hours of the movie at this, like, college. Like, it really is, like, well, what if the good witch and the bad witch, what would it be like if we showed them in college? It was pretty much like the Conan joke at the Oscars, which I thought he was just joking, but, like, oh, that really is the movie. Like, that's all the movie is.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just, I know that it's the source material, obviously. I'm assuming that's what the book is.
Right.
That's what the play is. I have no interest in that. Like, I have no interest in going back and seeing, like, what they were like in college and, oh, Glinda's a real kind of bitch.
I mean, it was really...
The Wicked Witch is actually good, and they recontextualize everything that you thought that you knew. I have no interest in that.
Yeah, it was very strange for me to... having grown up with the Wizard of Oz and knowing that Glinda is like the good witch and how she was in that movie.
Yeah,
and
she's essentially like a mean girl.
She's a mean girl in this.
But she's not like full on like over the top mean girl. She's more subtle with it.
Yeah, and it's like I get that like it's the younger version of her. Obviously, you're going to change as you grow and mature and like she wasn't there yet. But it's just really hard for me to like imagine those being the same people.
And plus the way the movie plays it, like you never know if you never know like her motivations fully. Like, does she really want to be, what's her name, Alphaba friend? Like, is she playing her? Like, you don't know. And then I feel like they try to go for this emotional moment towards the end and it just doesn't work because I don't know like the motivations and like what's going on.
Yeah, and again,
is it pure? Is it honest?
Yeah, and again, we haven't read the book, so we don't know.
And there's a part 2. So, there could be more developments there.
Yeah, so we're definitely, like, watching this, having no, like, history of all of this or whatever, besides, obviously, the classic Wizard of Oz movie. But, yeah, they just definitely feel very different to me. And, this one is definitely more like whimsical, like Willy Wonka-esque. I mean, honestly, when they're in the college and they're doing all the musical numbers and stuff, it kind of reminds me of like a Disney made-for-TV movie or something.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like one of those like Descendants movies.
Yeah. I mean, I've never seen one of those, but yeah. It does kind of look like that aesthetically.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, though, kind of going back to the performances, I was pleasantly surprised with, not necessarily the girl who plays Alphaba or the woman.
Cynthia Erivo.
Yeah.
Erivo.
I was kind of expecting her to be good, but as far as like Ariana Grande, I know that she can act, like she grew up on Disney and stuff like that. Yeah. Obviously we know that she's a singer too. So on paper, like she's a good choice, for playing this character, I guess. But just from like all the promotional stuff with this movie, both of the actresses have just like been really over the top with just like, I mean, it sounds kind of bad, but they've just been like really like emotional and positive and like, I don't know. I don't want to, I don't want to be like you're too nice or whatever, but it almost just seems fake or like not.
Yeah, like you don't know their motivations,
Yeah, it just seems like a little.
What are y'all trying to pull here? What are you trying to get me to believe?
With how like nice and like over the top they've been, and again emotional. There's just like so many interviews where they're like almost in tears over people just interviewing them and stuff. It just comes across almost silly. So anyway, all that to say, I just didn't really know what to expect as far as Ariana Grande's performance goes, but I honestly feel like she was pretty good in it.
Yeah, everybody was good. I mean, look, I can't take anything away from the movie. I don't think it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's well directed. I would have rather this director, John M. Chu, I think is his name, is the same guy that did Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
I would have rather him won Best Director than God, I can't even remember his name.
Sean Barker.
Sean something.
Oh my God, you don't remember his name?
The guy, Sean Baker.
Oh my
Sean
God.
Baker, the guy that directed Anora. Because I feel like John M. Chu did a lot more with this movie, and there was a lot more to do to kind of showcase his directing talents. Because I thought the movie looked really good. It was very well edited. Cinematography was great. It had a good look to it. There was a lot of stuff to balance in the film, but yeah, it's a good movie. It's just not like, it's not a movie for me. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe like 10 years ago, I could have watched this through like the lens of our kids, but I've just changed like in the past 5 years. I don't know what it is. I just can't enjoy these kind of whimsical kid movies anymore.
And it's like, it's not even that we're not like musical fans either. Like we've, you know, I mean, I guess I can't say I've watched a ton of musicals.
I mean, you loved The Greatest Showman. I thought the movie was okay.
Yeah, you know, we loved La La Land.
La La Land,
You know, I know that movie wasn't for everyone either. And then, like you said, The Greatest Showman, I enjoyed that one. I feel like I don't know. I feel like, do you feel like both of those were like still less singing though than this one?
Probably.
Maybe just a little bit.
And I mean, The Wizard of Oz, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not really a musical. Like, there's a couple of musical numbers in it, but it's not. I wouldn't think of The Wizard of Oz like, as a musical.
It's kind of equivalent
I would
to
think more like Willy Wonka as a musical than Wizard of Oz. I know they got the Munchkin Land song and Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Yeah, there's some musical stuff in it. I still just don't look at it as a musical, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I consider that just like equal to a Disney movie or something.
Yeah.
Like there's a few songs in it, but it's not like quite musical material, you know? Or like you can't quite label it a musical, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, this one literally, I don't think goes 5 minutes without them breaking out into some kind of musical number.
Yeah, definitely lots and lots of songs.
And I hate to bring this up because we bring it up all the time.
Yeah.
The movie's long.
It is.
It's close to 3 hours.
Right.
And it's just tough to get through a movie that you're not like super into.
Yeah.
When it's close to 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And you know, the next one will come out and it'll probably be 3 hours and 20 minutes long or something.
Yeah.
It's just the way they do things.
Yeah, and again, I feel like, I don't know, I think...
And there wasn't enough story there. Like I said, they're 2 hours at the freaking college, like really doing nothing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Continue.
I was just going to say, I feel like kind of going back on the whole, like, it's just kind of very whimsical and stuff. Again, having not read the book and stuff, it kind of just like was throwing me off seeing these, like, it had this whole like animal plot going on. Like animals losing the ability to talk and stuff. Like animals are in this world, you know, pretty much as an equal to a human kind of thing. And so there's this whole plot with animals going on. And to me, you know, again, having not read the material, I'm assuming that's in the book, but it just like didn't match up to me.
There is a strong, you know, social, political commentary in this film to kind of reflect, you know, what's going on in the world now. Just with it, almost like Zootopia, just with like accepting people that look different than you, that kind of thing. So, I mean, that kind of is the main theme of the film, I feel like.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that they like added that in like new, right?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I haven't seen I don't think so.
Yeah.
But, you know, having not read the book or seen the Broadway play, I can't tell you 100%.
Yeah. Well, you said it like like today, like what we deal with today. I mean, we've always dealt with that.
Well, yeah.
As a
sure.
society forever. So anyway, I don't know. It just, you know, the bears and the animals, I don't know, kind of throw me off. I mean, you kind of reminded me though, like in the Wizard of Oz movie, like, you know, there is a lion that she meets up with.
There's a cowardly lion.
But to be fair though, that was a dream. So
Well, the
Like
whole
the
world
whole-
is essentially a dream then, because Oz
Yeah.
exists in Dorothy's mind.
I know.
You know,
Yeah.
so going off that, then yeah, the whole world's a dream, but you'd have to kind of leave that at the door and just accept the
Right.
fact that Oz is a place that exists in
Yeah.
in this world, in this universe.
Right.
So.
That's kind of interesting because in Wizard
And
of Oz,
was it a dream? I mean, it was never really confirmed that it
Right.
was a dream. I mean,
Yeah.
she could have really went somewhere in some other dimension,
Yeah.
wormhole in a tornado.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, I'm kind of like with you. I don't think this movie was for me.
And if it was going to be for anybody, it would be for you. And I don't even know, did our daughter like it?
She said it was okay.
Okay.
She said
I mean,
it was
that's
okay.
most kids. Now, if she said it's okay, then it's one of the best movies of the year. Probably.
No,
That's how most
no.
kids will say.
She's been like very hype on some movies. So I don't think that was one for her. So she wasn't as hyped on this one. But yeah, I mean, obviously I know that this movie people loved it. So I don't really know like what to say as far
More
as
power to you.
recommending
like I said, it's
it.
not a bad movie. If you like these kind of movies, maybe you'll enjoy it. I don't know.
Yeah.
For me,
well, let me ask you this in closing. Do you want to see part 2?
No.
You don't care what happens?
No.
I mean, we know what happens, but you don't care to see the turning of Alphaba? Because right now she's a very kind person.
You know what? That might actually intrigue me.
Don't you want to see her like turn?
Yeah. I mean, it's
evil?
essentially like Star Wars, where you're watching Anakin turn to
Right.
the dark side to Darth Vader. That might be interesting to see how that plays out.
Honestly, I think part 2 could be better than part 1.
But maybe I can skip like an hour and a half into the movie to when she starts the turn.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear that. I want to see if she can pull off the laugh.
Yeah.
The cackle, the
Yeah.
witch cackle, the witch voice. I want to see what she sounds like. Is she actually gonna like sound like the old Wicked Witch of the West? That would be kind of cool.
She has some big shoes to fill.
She does. That's an iconic performance.
Yeah.
One of the best of all time. Maybe the best villain like ever put to screen. Like that's the problem when you start tackling these iconic movie villains.
Yeah.
And try to flip the script and do different. I don't know. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Fun fact: did you know that the actress got like really bad burns from when they had her like, the part where she like shows up in Munchkin Land?
Yeah.
And then like, there's like a part where like there's fire and stuff. Anyway, that actress, she got like really bad burns from that scene.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
she was
she's a
like,
trooper.
put me in. I don't need a stunt
Yeah.
double. And
I'm serious. Like that is at least top 5 movie villains. I'd put it in
Wow.
there with
I
Darth
had no
Vader
idea you felt
for
like that.
sure. Yeah, it has to be up there. It's iconic and it stood the test of time. So.
yeah. But there you have it. There are our fumbled thoughts. Let us
We
know.
fumbled, we mumbled, we yapped,
Yep.
we waffled as well. We did
let-
waffle a little bit.
And Ken interrupts like always. Let us know what you guys thought of Wicked. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was okay? Yeah.
Let us know that in the comment section below. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.